Okay, I even took some of my simple green and I sprayed on the inside of there, and I cleaned that all out, and then took a little bit more spray, wiped that down. I even kind of scrubbed on the bottom of the tub. Got this little inside corner. This was all kind of full of gunk and stuff, and I did that, got it loose, and then just used my little screwdriver. I use this little screwdriver for all kinds of stuff. And now I've wiped it all down, and wow, it looks a lot better than when I first started. But you know what? I haven't even gotten the caulking gun out yet, and that's what you need to do. Spend some time getting it all cleaned and getting it wiped down, scraped off, swept up, let it dry, and then after it all dries, we'll put the caulking on. As for the caulking, you might think, oh, I've done that before, I don't need to watch the rest of this. You might want to. I might have a few words of wisdom or advice installing that. So keep watching this video. It'll only be a few more minutes anyway, so you know, hey, the more you watch, the more you learn, and the more you save. Now, since I use this to rinse off and everything, I'm not going to use this water to wipe off my fingers and that kind of stuff when I get ready to install the caulking. Make sure you've got a clean bucket of water. And you don't need that much water in a bucket. And have your sponge ready, have your rag ready, and we'll get going when this dries. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, let's get back to it. And had I wanted to, I didn't have to wait. If you're wanting to get this all done in a real quick manner, as you're letting the bottom stuff dry, you can get into your caulking and you could work on the wall. You know, I could have done all that kind of stuff while I was waiting for the bottom to dry. But that's okay. I did a few other things instead. Okay, so I have not cut this open yet. And how do you cut this open? You know, I've seen people, and I've even done it too, where I've done this and I've tried to cut it like this, and you want to kind of cut it at an angle. And I did it one time, and this slipped through, and I had my thumb there and I slashed my thumb. And it's very easy to do. I even did it, and I knew that I needed to be careful, and I still cut it. One time on a job site, late at night, nobody was around, I hit that. Oh man. Luckily I found some band-aids and stuff, so I just take my tin snips and I'll set this on here and kind of put it at an angle. And like I said, I don't want to cut it I don't want a hole too big, so then I just kind of take this now and kind of do that business. And if it wasn't cut big enough, then I can try cutting it again or trimming it off or whatever. My blade's a little dull on my tin snips. So now I can just kind of clean that. Actually, I don't think I want it any more than that. I think that's probably good. Okay. And now I can get going with my caulking. Pop it in there. This thing has a cutter, but I never use it. If I was like using it just to cut the tip off of something and not having to be very particular, I could use that. See that? It doesn't really work very well. I've seen my Formica man used to use that when he was getting ready to cut his tip off, like for construction adhesive or something. And then you've got this little deal. With construction adhesive, there's a little metal tab in here, just foil, and it's not going to come out. And in some caulkings you have that. Well, it's like, man, if I only had one of these. Well, that comes on your caulking gun. And then you can take that and put it in there. Sometimes I'll do that after this dries. If I don't use the whole caulking tube, the thing that happens is this area here wants to dry up depending when the next time you use your caulk gun. So then you can try to clean it with this, and it gets gummed up, and then you may have to cut this bigger, and now you don't have a small tip anymore. The things that happen, okay? All right, and this has a spring-loaded deal, so as you go, you want to let the pressure off. You push that, and then this pops back so that not too much caulking will come out and squirt out all the place, okay? And then I want that down at an angle. I've got it cut at an angle, so when I put it against the wall, I have to look at it and make sure it's going the right way, because every once in a while you stop, this thing might turn sideways, and then you're thinking, how come it's not going right? Oh shoot, wipe that edge off, get it loaded, and get ready to go some more. Okay, so I'm going to start caulking the walls first. And I almost cut that too big. And see the cavity inside of there? They used to make the tips of caulking, the very tip of it had plastic in it quite a ways down before you would get into it. Like the small tip, this would be plastic from here to about there, and you try to cut it too small, and you cut it, you're like, hey, how come nothing's happening? And because you cut right into it. But it looks like now this particular caulking, I could have cut the tip off way up high to get a smaller one. But hey, it'll work. It'll work. I'm gonna do that one way up high. Let's see. See right in there. Right there. I'm gonna try that one first. I've got my rag here, and I've got my sponge, my damp sponge, because I don't want to put too much caulking in there. And well, let me get my sponge in here. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. And then what I try to do is I try to wipe it on back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that gives me just a little bit where I want, instead of one main long bead, you know. Okay. Push on there, make sure it doesn't come out. Some caulking tubes, this one's fine, it's not coming out at all, but some caulking tubes, when you first do it, and you take the pressure off and you look back, you set it down on wherever you're at, you look back and it's still squirting out. So you got to be real careful with that. Okay? See, I can just take that extra and just stick it on my hand, because I can rinse that off later. Right? And I don't want it flush. I want to indentate it so it looks like the grout down below it. Okay? There. I'm thinking that did pretty good. I could do that if I want. And see, now I can wipe my finger off. Go that way and blend it in to the grout. Okay, I'm liking that. Wipe off that outside like that. Good. I can rinse my sponge off. I don't have to do that too often. I can just leave this stuff on my hand until a little while from now.